What's up, Cellar Dwellers? This is Jack Thorne from Los Angeles once again. Very happy to be back on the Movie Cellars Month of Horrors Cheap Thrills, where all the movies done during this month are gotten at the Dollar Tree for $1. So, gotta love that. And thank you, Overlord Dan, for having me on for this third video and my final one for this go-round. Today we are going to be speaking about Troll Hunter 2010. Troll Hunter is a very interesting film. It is a mockumentary about troll hunting. And it's a Norwegian film made by Andre Overdahl, who also did Autopsy of Jane Doe and Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. It was made in 2010. It's done very much in the manner of, it's less Blair Witch Project and it's more District 9, that type of thing. So anyway, we'll go into it. It's starring it really doesn't have anyone that I knew. Apparently the main guy, Otto Jespersen, is a famous Norwegian comedian over there. So he was pretty much one of the only well-known people, I guess, that were in it. Well-known if you're in Norway. But so anyway, we'll go ahead and get right into it. So essentially what Troll Hunter is there is a trio of college students making a documentary film. The main guy, Thomas, and then his sound, the girl doing sound for him, her name is Johanna, and then they have a cameraman named Kalle. And they are following this suspected bear poacher named Hans. And they've been kind of tracking him and trying to get interviews with him and stuff. They catch up with him at the site of an illegally slain bear, which have all kinds of weird circumstances surrounding it, like the footprints of the bear. Like, other hunters come in and they say, there's something odd about these footprints, they don't look right. So anyway, they try to go talk to Hans, and he kind of blows them off and repeatedly tells them to get lost. And they also come across this guy, named Finn, who apparently represents the Norwegian Wildlife Board. Who says, oh no, these are definitely bear poachings. So, but he comes back later. Anyway, they continue to keep trying to follow Hans on his various, huntings, and they follow him this one night up into the forest. And they start hearing these weird sounds and growls, and all of a sudden Hans runs out of the forest screaming, "Troll!" So chaos ensues, and they all start running, and Thomas, the main documentarian, he actually gets bit by something, and he thinks it's a bear or an animal, but he's not sure. But anyway, they make it back to Hans's kind of 4x vehicle that he drives, and the car that they drove in, they pass by it and they see that it has been completely demolished. The tires are ripped off, and so obviously they can't go anywhere with their car, so they have to stay with Hans. He agrees to let them film a documentary as long as they do exactly what he tells them. So essentially, he tries to break it down and says, yes, trolls are real, and there's like saying, so like fairy tales are right? And he goes, no, not fairy tales. He goes, but trolls are real. There's different types of trolls. Some are larger than humans by a bit, and some are huge. Some are man-eaters. Most of them can live off of eating rocks, apparently. So there's all kinds of weird, lore surrounding these trolls and stuff that he tells them about. So he takes them on this hunt with him again into this other forest. He makes them slather all this stuff, which is basically, he calls it troll stench, but it's like goo and like excretions from trolls that he's made into this paste that you can rub on yourself. So he makes them rub it all over themselves, and he says, so make sure you do what I say, and also, are any of you Christian or believe in God? And so they all say, no, we don't. So they go with him, and they find that he has flushed out a 3-headed troll and he has this light thing that he uses against them called the Flashgun, and it kind of like is this huge strobe light that that turns them to stone, essentially, because it emits UV rays, and apparently the sunlight turns them to stone. So he does this all in front of them, and of course, up until this point, they have all been very skeptical and not wanting to believe that trolls could possibly be real. They've been laughing about it, but once they see this 3-headed troll, and especially when it gets turned to stone in front of them, they can't deny it anymore. So they're now freaked out, and he basically tells them, look, I've been doing this job for a long time. There's nobody really doing this job but me. And he tells them that Finn, the guy they met earlier supposedly from the Norwegian Wildlife Board, he is not from the Norwegian Wildlife Board. He is from what's called the Troll Security Service, the TSS, and he is in charge of making sure that it stays covered up. Hans, the hunter, his job is to hunt down trolls that are threatening to be exposed to the public or harming other people. So that's essentially his job. Apparently he was trained in the military. He was like a Navy SEAL or something, so he's got this military training, and so he's a badass. But he basically tells them that, I've been doing this job for a long time. The pay is shit. The hours are shit. I don't get paid overtime. I don't get any kind of compensation. It's extremely dangerous. I've gotten majorly wounded and almost died countless times. And he said, I'm just tired of it, and I'm ready to blow the lid off this thing and go public with it. So that was his reasoning for allowing them to come along with him. So then they go on another one. So with the bite that Thomas got on his shoulder, Hans lets somebody else know, a doctor who's actually a veterinarian, that the guy got bitten. She goes, okay, well, we need a blood sample. So they go to a bridge, and they find a bridge troll. So there's trolls that live under bridges, and he uses 3 goats to attract him. So he ties up 3 goats on the bridge. So it's like the 3 billy goats gruff. So he draws out the troll, and the troll actually kind of spars with him for a minute and beats his ass a little bit, but he's got this big suit that he's made out of metal and really thick material and stuff. So the troll doesn't kill him, he hurts him a little bit, but he actually is able to get the blood sample from that troll, and they take it to the veterinarian. They run into Finn again. Finn shows up, and they bring another fake bear carcass, it's a real bear, but they bring the bear carcass out, and they start leaving fake tracks to make it look like it was a bear attack and didn't have anything to do with trolls. And he basically he also threatens the students that, we're going to get the footage from you. You can't keep this footage. So after that, they see some, and Hans has also been noticing that these trolls are attacking more aggressively recently, and he needs to find out why. So they track down this abandoned mine area where apparently a lair of them live. And they go in there to try and check it out, and the trolls aren't there. But after a couple of minutes of them being there, the trolls return. So they have to like hide, and they've got this stuff all over them, this troll stench. But the problem is that the cameraman, Kale, he admits that he is a Christian. And so the trolls actually they pick up his scent, and they start attacking. So all of them run for the exit, but Kale gets killed, and they go back and get the camera, just barely. And the other three make it out. Hans and Thomas and Johanna make it out alive. So they lose Kale, the cameraman, and they call for another one from the college. So this one is Malika, who is a Muslim. So hopefully that won't be a problem. And so the next step is Finn from the TSS comes and tells Hans, look, you have to go north where the troll population is bigger and, basically into troll territory to find out what's going on. They get the veterinarian report on the blood sample back. Apparently the troll had rabies, which is what Thomas has in his shoulder now. So now Thomas has rabies. And so Hans believes that rabies is what's making these trolls act more aggressively. So he finds out that up in this troll territory, there is this huge 100-meter tall troll called a Jotnar, which he suspects might be the one spreading this rabies to the other trolls. So they go way up into, like the mountains and the snow and everything. And so it comes out, and they see it from like a mile away. And this thing is huge. This thing is monstrous. And Hans looks at him and he's like, yeah, he looks like he's got rabies. Like he's just rampaging right now. So he tries to draw the troll away from the others, because they're in this little cabin. So he tries to draw them away, but of course the documentarians are stupid and they follow because they want to get it on film. And they have this big battle with this troll, and he tries to zap it with the flashgun thing, and he runs out of battery juice in the middle. So basically he has to get back to the vehicle and recharge the battery really quick and get it going again so that he can go for a round 2 with this thing. So they barely get away from this troll because the troll is faster than the car, and the troll actually knocks the car, off of the road and shit, and they barely get out. But Hans is actually able to zap him with the gun enough to stun him, and then he gets some kind of missile that has this light in it. So he runs up to he runs out to meet the troll, and the troll is just about ready to get him, and he fires this light missile into this troll, and it explodes inside of him and basically turns him to stone from the inside out, and he crumbles and turns into gravel. And of course this thing is huge, so it's like a giant wall has just collapsed, and so Hans barely gets out of there with his life. And as soon as he finishes, he basically turns around to the documentarians and says, you've got all the footage you need, I'm out of here. And he takes off the other direction going up into the mountains, and he's gone, and he disappears. Right after that, Finn and the TSS show up, and they start chasing the documentarians trying to get their footage. So they run for a little bit. They make it a little ways. Johanna falls. Malika falls. And Thomas is the last one carrying the camera, and he makes it as far as he can, and he gets caught. And then the footage stops. But right before the footage stops, you see a car pull up. So apparently, according to the film, the car that drove up right at the end was the person who actually put this video out, that put the footage out there publicly. The documentarians, the 3 kids. They were never found again. They disappeared. There's nothing else about any trolls, nothing. Everything's been kept out of the papers, and it's still been kept a secret. But this video supposedly has now been made public. And right at the end, there's a, I think it's the Norwegian Prime Minister or whatever. He comes on TV and he tells the story saying that trolls are real, but that they're trying to deal with the problem. And the press just basically ignores it and blows it off and doesn't really react to it. And so that's the end of the film, and it's crazy. This movie was highly entertaining. Like I said, it's done much more in the style of District 9 rather than Blair Witch. It's not so much scary, but it's definitely dark fantasy. And just, I love all the inclusion of the ancient troll lore from Norway, and just the special effects were cool, but it was done, because it was done in the mockumentary format, and all of the photography and stuff is really grainy. Everything is kind of like not super clear, so that kind of makes it's kind of almost like that Bigfoot movie that I saw the other day too. But so that kind of made it more mysterious and stuff. But it was funny, it was hilarious, there was a lot of great humor in it. It was all deadpan, just like everything was delivered just completely normally straight. And but it was just the stuff they were talking about, and the situations were just absurd and hilarious, and I loved it. I thought it was great. I was thoroughly entertained. I definitely can't wait to watch it again. And yeah, I love Andre Overdahl. I really love The Autopsy of Jane Doe, and now I really want to see Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. This film was well made. As far as a found footage mockumentary film, this is, for me, about as good as it gets. It's well made, it's well written. The use of the inclusion of the comedy is perfect. The acting was believable. Well, just really well done. Great direction from Overdahl. Great music. Music from the there was music from a band called Kvelertak, which is a Norwegian heavy metal band. So you had some Norwegian metal in there. And of course they also played during the credits In the Hall of the Mountain King, by Grieg, the dun 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 dun. So they played that at the end. So it was all just a lot of fun. So I recommend very heavily Troll Hunter. I give it an 8 out of 10. And that's it. So this one ran a little longer, but hope that's okay. And anyway, if you get a chance, check it out. It is very enjoyable. All right, take care and have a fun rest of the month of horrors. This is Jack Thorne from Los Angeles, signing off.